hearing and is now being called to order at 6:01 p.m. This public hearing is held as required by the provisions of Chapter 131, Section 40, the general laws of the Commonwealth, an act relative to the protection of the wetlands, as most recently amended. Notice and time and place of this hearing was published in the Advocate on May 6th. It was also posted at the Town Hall Clerk's office. Persons wishing to be heard will be called in the following order. First order of business is minutes for approval.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Oh, I'll introduce us afterwards. All those in favor of the meeting minutes being approved, Heidi,
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
Rick, and I say yes. So that's 4-0 vote. Okay, I'm sorry. I was supposed to introduce ourselves before we started. I'm Everett Phil. I'm the Vice Chairman of the Conservation Commission. We have Heidi Pelletier, Commission Member, Ryan Resendes, Commission Member, and Rick Pimental, Commission Member. Our agent Marilee Kelly is with us, and our Senior Clerk Joanne DeMello. Okay, do we have any meeting mail?
Yes, actually, we do. We got a letter from the Department of the Army, U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, about anticipated remedial action work at New Bedford Harbor at the Superfund site. And it just goes on about what they're planning to do this year. And it's got a map of what's the upper harbor, what's the lower harbor, and what's the outer harbor.
Okay,
Basically, they're planning to work dredging in the upper harbor, mechanical dredging. This is most of this work has been done already. So, and in 2021, intertidal remediation and restoration in the upper harbor will continue in 21. The remainder of restoration plantings will be installed by June 30th. Remediation and restoration of 3 sites are planned for completion in 21. Remediation of a 4th site will be completed in 21 with plantings installed in 22. Restoration of a portion of another site is dependent on budget. So that's the gist of it. Anyway,
okay.
we also got a letter from MAC, or from the Mass Association of Conservation Commissions, announcing that Ryan has finished the fundamentals courses, and congratulations, Ryan. He's received his certificate from MAC.
Thank you.
We're all very proud of you. And I think I might have mentioned this at the last meeting, but I want to mention it again. The Natural Heritage has come out with a new map that's available for comment. It's at mass.gov/NHESP/map comment. And I can provide that to anybody who wants it later if you want to check it out. The map, I haven't had a chance to really look at it. It looks like it's changed a little bit in Acushnet. And that's it for meeting mail.
Okay, thank you. We'll move on to old business. First item is notice of intent by PJ Keating Company, 72 South Main Street, SC 0010558. Notice of intent filed by PJ Keating for property at 72 Main Street, map 15, lots 15 through 18. The applicant proposes to grade eastern slopes of existing silt piles located at the river PJ Keating Quarry. The applicant is Douglas Vigneault of PJ Keating. Plan site is site plan of land at 72 South Main Street in Acushnet, Mass, dated December 21st, 2020. Okay. So I will open the floor to Mr. Vigneault, and you can let us bring us up to date on what's going on, please.
Mr. Phil, if I may just raise a question before we get started.
Sure.
I'm concerned that we may have lost a quorum. because I don't believe we've had a majority of Concom members at every hearing. And I see that, I think you've only got 4 from what I can see on my screen.
There are 4.
Mr. Resendez may have missed one of our hearings. And I just, before we get going, I just don't want to put us all in a bad spot.
I don't know. Like, Ryan, have you missed any meetings?
I think I did miss one.
We had
I didn't
Bob.
miss it.
We had Bob as well.
Right, but I think we've always made quorum.
Yeah, we wouldn't go on if we didn't have. a quorum.
Yeah,
Well, just to be clear, the issue isn't whether you have a quorum tonight or whether you've had a quorum to hold meetings in the past. The question is whether you'd have a quorum to vote on this notice of intent. And I don't know whether the town of Acushnet has has adopted the rule where a member can make up after the fact. So that's why I'm just raising it. You would need to have had 4 members at every hearing.
We have 7 members, so 4 should be a quorum.
You have a quorum this evening. I'm not debating that. My question is, will you have 4 members who are going to be able to vote on the notice of intent in the end? That's my concern.
Yeah.
Hasn't this issue been postponed multiple times? I mean, I'm probably missed the last time you postponed it. I don't think I was here for the original notice of intent.
Certainly, the hearing has been continued several times now. So really, what it boils down to is you would just need to have had 4 members of the commission present at every night of hearing, or it is possible that Acushnet has adopted the rule whereby a member could, after the fact, go back and watch the video and review the materials and catch up, and then you'd be fine. You know, if Mr. Resendez just made up whatever hearing he'd missed that way, that would be fine. I just don't know the answer to that question, and I don't know if town council is on to be able to answer that.
Hi, I am filling in for Alex. Hi to the commissioners and to Mr. Leger. I would second that concern if we do only have, I think, 4 commissioners present today. Commissioner Resendez, if you do review the recording and all the documents that were submitted from the hearing you missed, and we fill out and certify a Mullen rule form, it should be sufficient for you to move forward and vote on it. But if there are any concerns about whether you've had, all commissioners who are present today voting, on the eventual NOI, then I would recommend continuing the hearing until you can until everyone can review all of the submissions and missed recordings, and so that you can get everyone to vote as needed who has reviewed all the materials.
Yeah, in this, if I may, Mr. Filla, in your filling in for the chairman,
we're not splitting hairs at all. I mean, we do not. Mr. Resendez has been perfectly good and honorable person as far as getting, adding his thoughts and whatnot, certainly. And it's not a situation on our behalf. We don't know who's going to show up, obviously. But when I did see this, I texted our counsel and said, is everything copacetic here? We want it to be. And if we can, to Attorney Braun's point, make it right with Mr. Resendez and have that, then we're more than happy to go forward tonight and discuss where we're at. So between council, if we can come into an agreement that we don't want to continue. We don't want to start over. But it's a point of law that we do need to address if that's the case. So, in the past we've had, I know every time Mr. Villa has been here, Ms. Pelletier has been here, Mr. Pimentel, and apologize if I'm pronouncing words incorrectly or your names incorrectly. And of course, the chairman has been on each of the calls, so it's always been 4 of the same people. But again, we're not here to split hairs. We're here to make sure that this is legally being done correctly.
And if I may just, Mr. Phil, just quickly.
Yeah.
I believe that Ms. Braun answered my question, which is that, as I understand it, the town of Acushnet has adopted the Mullen Rule legislation whereby your members can make up for a missed hearing. So in that case, Mr. Resendez could make up and be a voting member. And I think Chairman Rocha has also been here every night except tonight, so he could do the same. So I believe what I heard from Ms. Braun, resolves the issue, and we can go ahead.
I will say I would have to confirm it with Alex, who typically handles these meetings before moving forward, but yeah.
Okay, well,
Well,
again, I apologize. This is Doug Vigneault. I guess between council, again, we have nothing to hide. We want to have the discussion this evening. But if there's anything that could trip us up down the road a little bit, then, we do need to know that. So the town has adopted the Mullen. Is that what we understand?
No, I would have to confirm it. I would assume that they have, but we'd want to fill out that certification before moving forward and confirm it definitely. I would, based on the information raised, I would recommend that we continue this hearing until we can confirm and fill out a Mullen certification, assuming the town has adopted the statute. And if not, I mean, I understand that there's a site visit scheduled for May 20th. So if, we can hopefully get it sorted out by then and just continue it to the next meeting, but I'll leave it up to the commissioners and the applicant as to how you'd like to proceed.
It seems that we don't have a big choice. I guess we really need to at least continue it to our next regular scheduled meeting in 2 weeks. So someone on the board would like to make that motion.
I'll make the motion. Continue hearing for next 2 weeks from today.
Okay, do I hear a second on that?
Second,
Okay. Heidi, how do you vote?
yes.
Rick, how do you vote?
Yes.
Brian, how do you vote?
I'm gonna abstain.
Evelyn, are you here for the meeting?
Yes, I am. I'm sorry I couldn't get in earlier, but I am driving, but I got in.
And we have a motion to continue this hearing until our next meeting.
I'm gonna do what Ryan did. I'm gonna abstain because I just missed a piece of it, and my
Okay.
apologies.
All right, so we have it, a 3-2 yays and 2 abstains, so the motion passes. So we will reschedule this for our next meeting, which will be
May 25th.
but if I may, and Luke, correct me if I'm wrong, that's not a majority of the commissioners, so. Is there?
Majority of those present and voting.
No, Doug, that's fine. It's all they need for tonight is a majority of the members present, so
Okay,
3 out of
okay.
5.
But if I could just get the applicant's consent on the record to the continuance and then ask that you follow up in writing with Mayor Lee, just confirming that in writing for the continued public hearing, if that works for the applicant.
Well, with all due respect, I don't know why we would have to put in writing that we consent to the continuance. We do consent to the continuance.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, if Attorney Legere, if you wouldn't mind following up in writing, if it's not a huge hassle, it would just a procedural.
We'll put it in writing. That's fine.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for your time. Again, this evening, we didn't get a lot accomplished, but we have to do it right. We want it to be done right. We don't want to have to skip backwards or lose altogether any accomplishments that we've made toward getting it the way everyone wants to see it. So thank you, gentlemen, for your time. Miss Ron?
Thank you.
Thank you, commissioners.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, commissioners. Apologize for that.
That's not a problem.
Okay. Have a good evening, everyone. Thank you.
Okay, that was the only old business that we had tonight. We have one order of new business. It's a notice of intent filed by Alan Clapp, Robinson Road Solar Limited Liability Corporation, Robinson Road, map 7, lot 7. File number SE 0010564. The property owner is Robert Gilmore Jr. A notice of intent was filed by Alan Clapp, Robinson Road Solar Limited Liability Corporation for property located on Robinson Road, map 7, lot 7. The applicant proposes to construct a 1 megawatt solar array with an existing open field along with battery storage, fencing, access drive, and temporary erosion control measures within a 100-foot buffer zone to a bordering vegetated wetland. The applicant is represented by John Connell of Site Tech CEC. Incorporated, plan name is Robinson Road Solar Limited Liability Corporation, 1 MW AC solar array in Acushnet, Massachusetts, dated April 26, 2021. And this site was visited by most of the board members that are here tonight on this past Saturday. Looks like a pretty straightforward project. But I'll open that up for discussion, and if anyone wants to speak to that issue. Heidi, anybody?
Oh,
I see boxes lighting up.
I don't know why. I don't have anything.
Okay. Well,
No, it's not, the only thing, Mr. Chairman,
yes.
I forgot, just as long as they remember the obstruction on both sides of that culvert, that was the only thing, that was one thing we had concern about, so.
Yep, John Connell from SciTech
Yes.
Engineering here. Yeah, per the site walk, yeah, we'd like to clean out, with your permission, both sides of that culvert, in particular, the westerly side.
Yeah.
And even potentially, if you allow, to remove that large granite curbstone that slipped down into the ditch, and reset that. And then clear up some of there is some small vegetation in there, some real small trees. We'd love to see that, or to receive your permission to do that as part of the project. We included that as part of our maintenance plan as well, to keep an eye on that so that doesn't become obstructed in the future.
As far as I can see, that's a win-win situation for both the property and for the town itself. I have no problem with that myself.
Oh, as the landowner, I'm Robert Gilmore, and
I,
that sounds great to me.
so I need a motion on the NOI.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Do I have a second on that?
Second.
Okay. Have a motion and a second. Heidi, how do you vote?
Yes.
Evelyn, how do you vote? Was that a yes?
Yes, I tried seconding it, but I was muted,
Okay.
sorry, and I seconded.
Brian
I vote yes.
Yes,
and Rick,
Yes.
and I vote yes also. So that's 5-0 in favor. Thank you,
Aye.
gentlemen. Good luck with the project.
Thank you very much for everything.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate it as well. Thank you very much to the commission and everyone else involved.
Thank you.
And Marilee, thank you.
My thanks as well to everybody, to the commission, and for your time on Saturday as well. That was very fruitful.
We had fun. Okay, we have one other new business. It's a request for determination of applicability. Christopher Ciano, 52 Morses Lane. A request for determination was filed by Christopher Ciano for property located at 52 Morses Lane, map 17, lot 24. The applicant proposes to construct an accessory apartment and associated septic systems within the 100-foot buffer zone to a bordering vegetated wetland. The applicant is represented by Corey Medeiros of Site Tech CEC Incorporated. Plan name is Site Plan for 52 Morses Lane dated April 23, 2021. And again, we are out there on Saturday. We weren't there very long. Most of us are familiar with the property as we've been there to see when they first bought the property, or when they redid the house and the new septic and stuff. So I think it's a good project. And like I said, it's already been disturbed quite a bit. It's definitely not pristine wetland of any kind right next to it. So I'll open it up for discussion.
Good evening. I'm Corey Medeiros from SciTech, representing the owner, Christopher Ciano.
Hi.
Good evening, everyone. Yeah, so as the commission, as the chairman stated, this is a carriage house that's being built in conjunction with the existing home that's on the property. It's being built in the backyard of a previously disturbed area. It's an existing lawn now, so we don't anticipate any sort of grading issues. As I'm not sure if you see the plan with the grading, there's not much grading that's being shown. So drainage patterns are going to remain the same. Silt fencing, downslope of any of the work. So you pretty much nailed it with the description. So it's a minimally invasive project. Well outside of the outer portion of the 50-foot buffer zone. Yeah, so that's basically it. There is a small portion of the, in conjunction with the additional flow from the carriage house, you're also going to have a little expansion on leaching field. That's well outside of the 100-foot buffer zone. So that's basically the project in a nutshell. If anybody has any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer.
Does the place have a basement? The new carriage house, will it have a basement?
No, the new carriage house is going to be, it's a garage in the first, it's going to be a garage slab with the studio apartment on the second floor.
Oh, okay.
Anyone else? Any questions for the engineer? Yeah.
No.
Seeing no further discussion, would someone like to move the issue?
I'll make the motion for a negative determination for 52 Morses Lane.
Do I
I'll
hear a
second it.
second? All those in
Yes.
favor, Heidi? Ryan?
Yes.
Yes.
Evelyn?
Yes.
And Rick? And I vote yes also. So thank you very
Excellent.
much.
Thank you
Mr.
all very
Medeiros.
much. Have a pleasant evening.
Too.
You too.
You.
You did. That passed 5-0. Now, it's time for discussion. We have two issues that we need to discuss tonight. One is number 4 Wilfred Lane enforcement order follow-up. This involves wetlands that were filled with trash and rubble and all sorts of debris. Most of us had been to the site for a site visit. And the gentleman that owns the property, Mr. Adu, had talked to Bob quite extensively about what wasn't supposed to be done in this situation. And what they were talking about and what I know has been done, because I kind of can see where it is when I drive down the street to get into my yard. It's been smoothed out, covered, and planted. They spread everything out that was there, brought in some topsoil, and they planted some shrubberies and stuff.
Mm.
So it's just continuing working on it. So I think we need to get, yes.
I believe the next step is to turn it over to the lawyers.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I need you guys to vote to do that.
I think that's where we need to go too.
Yeah, I was gonna ask what the next step is, yeah.
So Merrill Lee says we need to send it to town council, I guess, right?
Right.
Merrill Lee? So do I have a motion that we move to send this into town council for litigation?
So
Make a
moved.
motion, we send this to town council.
Okay, I have two motions. I'll accept Evelyn's first. Who wants to second that motion, please?
Second,
Okay. Heidi, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
Evelyn,
Yes,
Rick?
yes.
And I'll vote yes also. So that's 5-0. We'll send it to our town council for litigation, to start litigation. All right. The next one is 21 Evergreen Drive. 21 Evergreen Drive is a new construction. There was what was suspected to be a vernal pool in the back of the property.
Yep.
They had promised that they weren't going to disturb it. They've definitely started to fill it in. They've cut down all the little saplings and stuff that had been growing in it. And they need to do so. They need to stop working there. And I don't know have we sent them a cease and desist letter, Merrily?
Yes, yes, they did.
And they haven't responded yet, correct?
No, they've responded. We went out there, remember?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I
Yeah,
know we
no,
went out
they're-
there.
I think they're willing to replicate the area in a different spot if possible.
Okay.
They tell me all the critters will come back if you build a new pool.
Right, they probably would.
So maybe we could move it farther back away from the house some
Mhm.
and replicate it.
Weren't they getting engineers involved? Did you get the plans for that?
No, I haven't seen any plans yet.
Sue?
Yes, Sue.
So yes, we're still working with the engineers and the wetland specialist. We have been communicating with them. They have been to the property. We're still waiting for their report. I do also have a concern of the next door drainage. They happen to come over to the house because they feel that we're the ones that are causing problems, which we're not. Their drainage is coming to our yard since 2007. They're worried about their water table, but as you know, their house is much higher than mine. So I don't know what any information on that has been. They haven't moved their drainage pipes. They haven't done anything. So I just want to know where I stand with that as well. Because that's definitely not helping my situation. Like I said, we're very cooperative people. We have no issue. We do what we're asked. But it's unfortunate to have this in the middle of our yard when it was approved, it was a buildable lot, but I mean, that's in the middle of a backyard. Where do you put a shed? Where do you put, I mean, I hope you understand. I don't mean to give you a hard time, but we are struggling here. Like, we don't know what to do. We're frustrated, we're struggling, and we got issues here. And I mean, we're willing to cooperate and do what we needed. We're spending money on an engineer, on Ken Thompson. I mean, this is all costing us money. And now to replicate, some more money will be wasted. I mean, it shouldn't have been a buildable lot if we were concerned about wetlands, if we were concerned about turning it into a vernal pool. That should have been all prior to this being developed, not the little homeowner that is the fool that buys the property and that gets stuck with these issues. I mean, I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. I mean, my husband and I are both extremely frustrated with this.
I can understand your frustrations, but
I mean, basically, we feel like we got to run out of Acushnet, and we've raised our kids here. We've been here over 20 years. We've owned a couple of homes in Acushnet. We feel like we have to run out of here, and that's where we stand right now. We got to figure this issue out and get out of Acushnet, and that's where we stand. And is that fortunate? No. We want our kids to stay here and also buy homes and move along here, but we're not feeling it right now. And now you have next door coming knocking on my door. They're the ones that called the town on me, and now they're blaming me, and of course telling the whole neighborhood that we're the problem. We're not the problem. They've been draining their drainage since 2007 into our yard. We've never said anything. I mean, we saw one pipe, but do they have more? I mean, is that fair? And he has the audacity to tell me he's worried about his water table. His house is about 15 to 20 feet higher than mine. So where do I stand with my water table? I'm sorry, do I make sense?
I know what you're saying. It's how much higher that place is. I understand that. Now, what you need, how can you remedy this? I don't know, maybe Merrilee has some suggestion. I don't know.
I'm willing to accept any suggestion from the town. I appreciate all the suggestions. We really do. We want to work with you. We don't want to cause problems for the town. We don't want to waste your time. We appreciate that you came by here that day. And I mean, we want it safe for the kids to play back there. And we really don't have a huge backyard, a big area. That goes right through one side to the other. The last time we had a rainstorm at 6 a.m., I was out there. There's water coming out. There's a lot of water coming out of that pipe when it rains. I mean, it's a big hole next door. All the water that collects on the roof, it goes, it comes right through that pipe. And I don't know if there's other pipes. I mean, I'd have to go look for them. But I'm assuming there's got to be more. She just can't have one for a big property like that. I mean, that certainly has not helped my situation all these years. So I'm up to any suggestions if anybody can help me. I don't know. I do appreciate all you do, and I want to work with you, but we're frustrated, to say the least.
Merrilee, do you have any suggestions of what she might do?
Yeah, I kind of fell down on that pipe there. I'll make sure I get on to that first thing tomorrow and talk to them about it. It's not legal for them to be dumping water onto somebody else's property.
Yeah.
So there's one way that we can help you out. It's trying to get that ended too, with that water dumping down the hill into your yard. I understand that could be very frustrating too. So Merrilee will talk to them about that.
Yep.
And that's another issue in the neighborhood thing that we're going to have to resolve.
Yeah.
And the pipe is certainly there. We did see it.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the primary source of the flooding. I mean, based on the topography of the land, their property's higher, so any rainfall whatsoever would be basically pitched into that direction anyways. I mean, obviously the pipe doesn't help. No. But I mean, the plans that I saw, I wasn't on the commission when this went in front.
Yeah.
But I did ask Merrilee for the minutes, and she provided them for me. On the plans, it does say that it was an isolated area subject to flooding. And that is under our jurisdiction. And it was also noted at both meetings that, you know, that was not to be touched. So that's where I stand with it. I mean, does that pipe help? No, you know, and that needs to be resolved. But it was also made aware that that was a potential vernal pool, and it was in waiting to find out if it was going to be certified or not. So, you know, that's kind of where I stand with it.
So the vernal pool should have been, prior to this been developed, that should have been noted and certified prior to the homeowner being able to build or buy the property. That should have been done prior. And then this shouldn't have been a buildable lot. That's where I stand with that. Like, if that was true, that should have been right from the get-go told to us when we bought the piece of property. It says isolated flooding. I don't see wetlands. I don't see a vernal pool on our plan when we bought it.
Yeah, but we have.
Then I would totally respect that.
We have no. We don't have anything to do with the realtor or the realtor who sold the property. But when it came about for us to do our whatever we were there for, NOI or we came across it and you were told about it and it wasn't supposed to be touched, and you were talking about even moving your porch or something back so it wouldn't be in its way. But then I think we were surprised when we went back and everything was filled in all the way to over the vernal pool. I mean, we went there and there were tadpoles and all kinds of life in that pool. And I don't know, I thought you understood that there was not supposed to be any more disruption to it. So I think we were surprised when we went back. I think we just want it to be replicated again so that that's what we do. But we had nothing to do with the plan to do the house. Or I don't think it happened yet. We don't have any part of that. And it is sad because I really do feel sad that this is all going on for you. So I don't know if they can replicate the area again. I think that would satisfy us in that way.
Well, Mike and Ken will be in touch. That's where we stand right now. We spoke to them yesterday. Unfortunately, Ken could not join this meeting because he was planning on it. He had 2 other meetings at the same time. So they will be in touch. We are working with them and we're going to, figure it out.
Okay.
That's probably the.
I mean, that's the best that I can say.
Yeah,
I mean, when you mean replicate, do we replicate what? I mean, because we didn't fill the whole area. So I want that to be understood. We didn't fill the whole area.
Right, there was still quite when we were there this last time, there was still quite a bit of the original pool that was still.
And we're not touching that.
I agree with you there. There's still a lot of the original pool that's still there. And
Definitely nothing.
replicate doesn't mean to bring it back necessarily to how it was before you extended into it. You can replicate further out on the property or in a different spot on the property to replicate it. So
okay,
I'm sure the engineers will figure something out and it's probably not going to be a big giant expense to replicate it, other than they're going to have to move some soil and stuff around. I'm pretty sure that it's going to be a fairly simple thing and it'll make everybody happy again. And as far as that pipe that comes down out of the neighbor's property, and dumps water down the hill, Marilee's going to look into that for you. So we're trying to work with you, and as well as you're trying to work with us. So.
And fair enough. And Marilee, quick question: did they communicate with you at all since they received a letter?
I did get an email from them a while back, and I tell you the truth, I can't remember exactly what it was.
Okay.
What it was claiming, but I'll get back with them.
No problem. Thank you.
You're
All
welcome.
right, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Agent updates, Merrill Lee, anything?
No, everybody's pretty much doing what they're supposed to do at the moment. I haven't got any new violations yet.
Yeah. Okay, our next meeting will be on Tuesday, March 25th, 2021. It'll be at 6
May.
o'clock. What did I
May
say?
25th.
I said March, right? May 25th, 2021 at 6 PM via Zoom. I think we're living with Zoom for a while longer.
Yeah.
Everett, real quick,
Yes,
Merrill Lee, is that something I gotta look into or you gotta look into is the Mullen rule? So we can cross all the Ts and dot the Is with PJ Keating?
Oh, yes. Do you want me to do a little research and send it to you guys so you can vote on it at the next meeting?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I'd like to be involved in the process. I mean, considering I think I'm one of the
Culprit.
strongest supporters of what they're doing over there. I don't want to, shoot myself in the foot here and say anything stupid, but I just like to, I mean, I've already reviewed that meeting. Obviously, I mean, I think that was the meeting that I actually wrote in and had opinions on
Right.
some of the
Yeah.
property. So,
Yeah, you did.
and I went back and reviewed that meeting. So if there's a document that I got to sign to say that I'm up to speed on the matter, like I said, the same topic has been continued, I think for like eight weeks now.
Yeah.
And I've been at every other meeting. So if there's a stipulation that I have to have been at that meeting, I have reviewed that. And if there's something that I got to sign for the town to, get this thing rolling, I'm okay with that.
Okay.
And I'll attest to watching that meeting,
Can I ask a question about that? Am I permitted to ask a question about it?
Of course.
Has that ever happened? I'll be honest with you, I was a bit confused by it. On one hand, it doesn't matter if we had a quorum. On the other hand, it does. I don't know. Heidi was correct. If we wouldn't conduct a meeting if we didn't have a quorum.
right.
So
Right.
We do have a quorum, but apparently since what they said, since Ryan had missed one of the meetings that was discussing that issue,
yeah,
there would have only been 3 of us that could have voted. Because Evelyn has missed some of the meetings too, so she wouldn't even have to vote. So then we were
Yeah.
below the quorum of people that were eligible to vote to the issue.
right. But
That's how I understood it anyway.
yeah, the way I look at it, and I'm sure Ryan's going to agree with me. If he misses a meeting or I miss a meeting, we're going to go back and review it. We're going to go look at the video. We're going to review it. I'm sure he did. I would do that. So
I usually watch the YouTube film
yeah,
of meetings afterwards.
yeah, that's what I've done, and I'm sure all of us would do that. And I don't know. I'm just a bit confused at why that was brought up today, of all times. I mean, Ryan is right. We've been on this issue for weeks, and it's like
It's
I think it was because he asked, we interjected questions when he wasn't there, only because he had questions, and so it wasn't like he was really there. But we had a quorum already. He was being involved in it. He just had a class that night. And
right.
so, I mean, it's kind of silly, but
I know. I'm still a little confused. It's fine.
If it's the laws of the Commonwealth, which I'm sure it is, because
then that's fine. Yeah.
Those are big dollar
whatever.
lawyers sitting there. That's not.
Yeah. Right.
It's not like the guy you get to write your will.
Yeah. Right. I mean.
I'll get
Thank
some information together and send it to you guys so you up to speed on it.
Yeah, that's fine. I want to just do everything right. I don't want to,
Yeah, we want to do it right. Once we put it to bed, we want it to be put to bed.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we don't want to have to keep coming back and coming back and coming back.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
I was kind of taken back by that. I wasn't
I
expecting
know.
that.
Well, so was I.
Of all people, like I'm like, all right, guys, let's go. Let's get back to work. Let's come on, you know.
Yeah.
I just didn't. I didn't see that coming, but that's
I
fine.
mean,
I want to do it right.
I think you were going above and beyond, for that meeting.
Yeah, I think they have, honestly, they have been too. They've been making progress over there that I can see. I mean, I live closest to them, so.
Yeah.
But that's fine. So yeah, if we could square that up, Marilee, that'd be good.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll get right on it.
Thank you.
Anyone else have anything they want to discuss?
Nope.
No.
If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make that motion, Everett, to adjourn.
Second, anyone?
I'll second.
Okay. I have a motion to adjourn with a second. Heidi, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
Evelyn,
Yes.
and I vote yes also. So it's 5-0. Thank you for attending. Thank you for putting up with me.
You're great. Thank
You
you,
did a
everyone.
great job, Eric.